All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake.
And I'm Chris.
We are out here. We got snow in the last week. We've gotten more snow here in southwestern Connecticut than we've gotten, what, in the past 3 years combined?
Yeah, just about 3 years.
We've gotten about probably like good 18 inches of snow probably in the last like
week or so.
week and a half. I had the wood yard all plowed nice. It was basically down to asphalt millings. Sarah and I went for a long weekend skiing up in Vermont, and it snowed another like 3 or 4 inches. So we're playing in the snow today, but before I left for skiing, I managed to cut up a bunch of really nice oak and birch. So we're gonna be working on splitting that up today. I got enough here where I think you should be able to keep up. Yeah. Normally, if we just start splitting and cutting and I don't have a stockpile of rounds, the Eastonmade splits faster than we can cut, or Chris can cut and move logs. So we always like to try and start out with like a little bit of a stockpile, if you will. We went through all of that maple, that big load of maple that came in the 40-yard container. We didn't film that, but we filled 12 totes in one day. That was shortly after we posted the first video trying the 4 totes off the end of the conveyor simultaneously, which worked really, really well, right?
Yeah, that day that we busted out that whole log truck load.
Yeah, that was the full load.
12 totes, and that was over a span of what, 3 hours?
3 hours, yeah. So this whole 4 tote thing definitely works, and we found that it used to take about 10 minutes to swap out a tote, label it, put the top on, move it over to where it's got to go. And we were able to do all 4 of these. Granted, we totally stopped production, but it took about 15 minutes to move all 4 totes and label them and put the tops on, as opposed to 10 minutes per tote while still trying to split kind of like half-ass. So a lot of people were mentioning in the comments that they thought the time of swapping out 4 totes versus 1 tote 4 times would equal each other, or this would take longer. By far did not. It took way less time. So we're going to continue doing this and, playing with the system, see how it works. As always, let us know in the comments, what you guys think, because that's actually where we got this idea in the first place.
Yeah.
It was from the comments section, from you guys.
We can take the pallet forks off now.
Yeah.
We can switch back over to the grapple so I can move the logs to the log table and not have to futz around with using the forks as a log moving apparatus.
Because it takes a lot longer to fill up 4 totes than it does 1 tote. So when we were doing the 1 tote, it wasn't really worth it. It would fill up so fast that it wasn't worth it to switch from the grapple back to the pallet forks or vice versa. We just kind of used the pallet forks, which aren't as ideal as the Wicked grapple for moving logs. But now Chris can kind of like see when all 4 totes are getting kind of close, and he has plenty of time to go swap out the grapple, because it honestly takes about maybe 2 minutes to swap out, from one implement to the other. So it's something I didn't really think about, but it probably makes it a lot easier on your part.
Yes, it does. A lot easier.
So that's the name of the game, trying to make firewood easy and fast. So enough chit chat. We're going to fire things up, get going. Okay guys, so that was exactly 30 minutes of runtime, you know, with some pauses for me to film Chris and vice versa. But basically, as you can see, we were able to fill up these front two totes, which is a large and a small, in exactly 30 minutes with a little bit of spillover into the back here. Now, Chris, you want to explain what we did wrong here? Because this didn't happen last time.
So last time we were a little bit more diligent of making sure everything was a little bit more centered. We were centered properly on the grizzly bars from left to right, but we didn't center from front to back.
As you can see, like the edge of these totes meets up with the edge of the grizzly bars, and those grizzly bars should really be dropping about halfway into the tote. So like right about here. So these all need to be shifted this way to the left. And I think we were just so excited to get splitting wood. It's been a couple days. We were just eager to run the machine. We were. Start making wood fly. So it's all right because it worked out okay. So what I'm gonna do is throw the forks on the tractor, and we're gonna get these two totes out of here and replace them with two empties that we got sitting right here. And we're gonna make sure that we center them left, right, front, back, and then we'll get going again. But I mean, the two totes in a half an hour is right on par with our 15 minutes per tote, you know, kind of runtime equation estimate thing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay. Here. Got to do that. Equalize the pressure. It makes it easier to, you know, hook these up next time when we go to put them back on. I also run this bungee cord to just kind of keep the hoses up out of the way. And then I always like to, especially because the grapple's going to be sitting right in the sun, go like that. It keeps all the pressure equalized. It'll be nice and easy to hook it back up when we're ready for it again. Alright guys, so I just wanted to take a second to explain what I'm about to do and why I'm about to do it. If you saw the last video, you know that I installed new larger hydraulic cylinders on my front end loader from Hydros Plus, and this is a full large tote of oak, maple, and beech, all of which was just freshly cut down and is green. So this is a pretty heavy tote, and as you can see, I was easily able to lift it up and you know, do multi-function with the curl and the lift cylinders simultaneously. And as I start to bring it down here, you'll see that I'm able to keep it nice and stable and lower it down all simultaneously. And that was lifted up to full height, something that I would have never been able to do quite as easily or smoothly before with the stock cylinders. Okay guys, we are all reset here, and just something to note, we have switched the orientation of the totes to be with the wide face, you know, facing out this way, perpendicular to the grizzly bars, because we're just trying things out and we want to see how it works. So you'll see now the positioning of the first tote is much farther overlapped than it was before.
And the hope when I tried it with this orientation by myself without filming was that these first totes kind of built up a wall on this far side, and then the wood started to like pile up in the middle, and you could just take the hookaroon or rake and rake it down into these two totes. And it didn't seem to take too much more time or effort. So we're gonna give this a shot. It is 9:24 right now, and we'll see how we do. Well, guys, here we are again, about another half an hour later, and we got two really nice filled up totes, mostly oak and some beech, but these back two totes are barely full, as you can see. And again, I don't know what happened, but look at where the center point is. We just can't seem to hit the sweet spot today.
No, we can't.
Like, so this time, this tote, the far tote from the grizzly bars, was getting filled up no problem.
Yeah.
But now it's the two far totes going that way that we didn't align. So I think if you're gonna do this, the moral of the story here is we gotta slow down, and if it's going to work, we need to make sure that all of the totes are centered. And another thing that I'm learning is that I think it's fine to mix large totes with small totes, but I think it would be to our advantage to keep the same size totes on the same side, whether it's closer to the conveyor or, you know, to the right of the conveyor or whatever have you. But having the two tall ones diagonal right now seems to be kind of preventing the wood from especially getting into this one. So yet again, we're gonna go swap out the grapple for the pallet forks and get these two out of here and bring in two freshies. Okay, guys, we just reorganized the totes. Today is really not our day, but at least we're making wood. This whole new process is going to take some time to figure out. But as you can see here behind us, we just swapped the position of these two, and we decided we're just going to fill up these two at a time because they're already like half full. So by the time that those get filled, then the other ones would be half full. So we're just going to finish these two and then probably start out fresh. But one thing, I don't know if you can hear Louie in the background, but Gets me every time. What a rule of thumb that we're going to go by now is tall totes have to stay closest to the conveyor. Because if we had this tote over here, the extra rung would just create like a wall to, further prevent the wood from going into it while filling this small tote. So by having the taller totes, the large totes, up closer to the conveyor and the grizzly bars, I think it'll help, fill up a little easier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, man, a few words.
All right.
A little defeated today.
Yes and no. I mean, all right, guys, we were out here actually splitting for about 2 hours, and we got 6 totes filled up. So at the end of the day, a cord an hour isn't bad. Isn't bad. I think, like we've said, we're learning. This is definitely, I think, a faster way compared to what we were doing, but we're kind of stumbling. We got our training wheels on. We're trying to figure it out. We're going to have some stumbling blocks. I think that's to be expected, but overall, this is working out pretty well. We have, I think today, before Sarah and I left, I counted, we had 86 full totes. So now we're up past 90 with the 6 that we did today. We're at 92 to be exact, which is pretty good for, February 19th to have 92 totes going into next year.
Summer,
that's just over
next year.
I mean, for those of you who might be new to the channel, 3 of these totes roughly equals a third of a cord. So if we're sitting at 92, that's just shy of 31 cords of wood, or we're right about at 30 cords of wood for going into next year. A lot of this stuff has actually been split too since like last spring, like May. So we're approaching a year on that stuff, which will be good for the firewood stand over the summer and whatever, clients want to continue to buy wood over the spring and summer. But I think we're in good shape. As always, drop a comment down below. Let us know what we could be doing differently. I had a bunch of people actually reach out and say that they were going to adopt this whole 4-tote method thing themselves, most of which I know have conveyors. So I think if you're using totes, it serves as a good way to, elongate the time between having a futz with the totes itself. Because, firewood, the name of the game is less touches, more productive, more money. Time is money. You got anything else?
No, I got nothing.
That's nothing.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. All right. Well, that's going to be it. As always, guys, if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. We'd really appreciate it. Questions, comments, feedback, throw it down in that comment section. But for now, I'm Jake.
And I'm Chris.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. See you here next time.